Greetings and salutations. I'm Christopher Platt, reporting for Your Black World News with an article from WBLA TV. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com to learn about financial literacy and how you can grow your business today. Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby announces that marijuana possession cases will no longer be prosecuted. Prosecuting these cases has no public safety value, disproportionately impacts communities of color, and erodes public trust, and is a costly and counterproductive use of limited resources, a statement from Mosby's office said. Mosby said the policy change is a major shift and that families have been destroyed by what she calls the so-called war on drugs. She said there's no violent crime associated with marijuana possession. For far too long, we've sat back and watched certain communities and families destroyed by failed policies of the so-called war on drugs. The effects of these failed policies have been especially dire for cities like Baltimore, where for decades we've criminalized what is now nationally considered a public health crisis. The statistics are damning when it comes to the disproportionate impact that the war on drugs has had on communities of color, Mosby said. Mosby said she's referring first-time offenders to a diversion program. Mosby said that she'll vacate almost 5,000 cases involving marijuana possession dating back to 2011, but will prosecute intent to deliver cases. The state's attorney's office is making the following changes to its marijuana policy. The office will no longer prosecute marijuana possession cases, regardless of weight or a person's prior criminal record. The office will prosecute distribution of marijuana as long as there's an articulated evidence of intent to distribute beyond the mere fact of possession. All people charged for the first time with felony possession with intent to distribute or felony distribution will be referred to diversion. Devontae Williams L. said his arrest for possession hinders him. When employers look at my record, they see that it's on my record and they make a decision. I guess they don't go into further investigation to see if I was convicted or not, Williams L. said. What Mrs. Marilyn Mosby is doing is erasing that stigma of people who do smoke marijuana. Cyril Scoggins agrees with Williams L. I'm 58 years old. I'm in the master's program. I have my bachelor's in applied psychology. And every time I go to get a new position in this field, they bring up the marijuana charge, Scoggins says. Scoggins said the marijuana charge was from 1985 when he was 21 years old. The announcement she made has the ability to change the complexion of employment, education, and the ability to turn this trauma around in this city, he said. Scoggins believes criminalization is not the answer. The people who get the most time, the people who get arrested the most, the people whose lives are damaged the most are not the people who sell 45 kilos. It's the guy who bought a nickel bag on his way home from work and got stopped by the police, he said. Mosby is calling on Baltimore's law enforcement community to join her in support of her vision of safety for the city. I'm calling on my partners in law enforcement to join my office in this effort, Mosby said in a statement. We need leaders here in Baltimore who are actively working toward a vision of safety that makes all of us more secure in our great city. That can't happen when we're focused on marijuana possession cases instead of solving and prosecuting more murders. Interim Baltimore Police Commissioner Gary Tuggle told News 11 that he disagrees with the new policy. He said marijuana and crime are related. Obviously, it's the state's attorney's prerogative to do that. I'm not going to order our officers not to make those arrests. We see the impact, the negative impact that marijuana has in our communities, Tuggle said. At the end of the day, the last thing that we need in Baltimore is another illegal substance. And I think that until the legislature decides to change the law, we're going to continue to enforce it. Mosby said she will propose legislation that would give prosecutors the power to vacate convictions. Mosby also believes that there's no link between marijuana and violent crime. There's no public safety value in prosecuting marijuana possession. Furthermore, there's no link between marijuana and violent crime, as is illustrated by more than half the states across this nation that now have legalized marijuana, Mosby said. Baltimore County's state attorney Scott Schellenberger disagrees. He cited a double murder in Townsend last April where marijuana played a role, saying police confiscated more than 100 pounds of the drug. Schellenberger said he has no plans to follow Mosby's lead. Mayor Catherine Pugh's office released a statement Tuesday evening saying, quote, "We need to commit our full efforts and resources to get violent criminals off our streets. It's important that we look at common sense approaches to laws governing personal possession of marijuana, as cities across the nation have done on the East and West Coast, including New York, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and Reno. I'm supportive of what State Attorney Marilyn Mosby is attempting to address, namely the unnecessary criminalization of those who possess marijuana merely for personal use. But at the same time, we also need to understand that those who deal illegal substances fuel criminality in our neighborhoods, which leads to violence. We cannot, nor will we, let up in our efforts to eliminate violent crime at its source. I want to urge our legislative colleagues to look carefully at these issues and at best practices underway elsewhere, in collaboration with the state's attorney and law enforcement leadership, to determine an approach that is unified, consistent in its application, and in the best interest of our communities." End quote. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to share this video and let us know what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Your Black World YouTube channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com today. I'm Christopher Platt reporting. Until next time, shalom.